professionals 0 to 5 years who are still finding their way into the world of finance. We know that finance can be, or finance is a very broad space. You know, there's audit, there's tax, there's deals, and so on and so forth. And so that's where YFL come in. Yeah, so we come in to bridge the gap between youngsters who are somewhat confused about what area of finance they want to venture into, and then top professionals who are already experts in this niche and can come and speak to us about what this is about. And so we have our monthly hangouts like this, and then we also have 2 major programs in a year. But this is like the November hangouts, like I said, and then we were talking about standing out in a very crowded world as a career beginner. And so we know that, okay, as a career beginner, most times you just get thrown into the sea and then you try to like for your way out or in, and you try to blend. And so that's why we brought in a professional who is already standing out in our space to come and speak to us about how to stand out in the world as a career beginner. And so, yeah, I will have to, I might be, I will be admitting people in, so please don't mind my distraction. Okay, so it's 5 p.m. already, and like I said on our group chat, 5 p.m. is 5 p.m. There's no time because our professionals are busy. So I'll be reading a bio. Give me a minute. Let me share the bio. So yeah. So I'll be sharing the bio now. Reading, and then we kick start. Okay. Let me know you can see, if you can see the bio, you can just put a thumbs up or something. So no, you can see the bio. Okay, thank you, Olalekan. Okay, so like I said before, I've already met our speaker physically, and she spoke at the account tech, and so I'll be reading her bio now for us. Aramide Balogun is a first-class accounting graduate from Covenant University in Nigeria. She's a fellow of ICANN, a chartered global management accountant with CIMA UK, and she also holds an executive MBA from IE Business School in Madrid, Spain. With over 15 years of experience, Aramide has built a solid career in finance, audit, and advisory, working with global companies across different industries. She's currently a senior finance controller at Microsoft, where she helps ensure financial compliance and supports decision making with strong financial insights. She also plays a key role in shaping financial policies that support the company's goals. After that, Aramide serves as a non-executive director and the chair of the finance and sorry, I have to be admitting people in. So sorry. Yeah. And she's a chair of the finance and general purpose committee at FEZ Delivery, which is a growing textile logistic company. Recently, give me a minute, sorry. Yeah. Recently, Aramide has actively been involved in driving finance transformation through artificial intelligence. She shares practical insights on how finance teams can embrace emerging technologies to improve processes, deliver more value, and stay future ready. She has delivered several sessions to both internal and external stakeholders about the use of AI to improve productivity for accounting and finance professionals. She's passionate about helping others grow, and she spent time mentoring young professionals like us and guiding them as they build successful careers. Our approach to leadership is grounded in hard work, integrity, and a genuine desire to make a difference. Whether in the boardroom or during a mentoring session, Aramide brings clarity, focus, and a commitment to excellence that inspires those around her. Ladies and gentlemen, YFL, with a round of applause, can we welcome Aramide to the virtual podium? Hi, Aramide. Thank you very much for
Hello.
honoring this invite. We did not take it for granted. Really appreciate your time. Let me pin you for everyone so that you can. Yeah, I think I've pinned you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Really, really nice to be here with you. I think it's really amazing to see young people coming together to chart a course for their career, coming together without anyone forcing you and trying to learn from, the leaders that have gone ahead. I'm a very big fan of mentorship, talking to people who have gone ahead, who have made all the mistakes ahead of me so that I don't have to repeat those mistakes. So I'm really excited to be here. And I think the topic that we are discussing today, trying to share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me just. So the topic we're discussing today is a topic that I am very passionate about, because if you think about it, the world has become a global village, and more than ever, you need to find a way to stand out. The world has become really crowded. We're no more talking about just Nigeria. I mean, when I started my career, you could only apply to organizations in Nigeria. But today, the story is completely different. Today, you can throw your application to the UK, you can throw your application to the US, you can work across Africa. And that means that you're not just competing with your classmates in Unilag. You're not just competing with your sets in NYSC. You are now competing with people across the world. So more than ever, this topic is very important. How do we stand out in a very crowded world? And it continues to get crowded. When I started my career, we're talking about boomers. I'm a millennial. We're talking about boomers in the workplace. But today, we still have boomers in the workplace, but we have millennials, we have Gen Z, and we have Gen Alpha coming into the same workforce. So it's really a crowded market out there. But before I start, let me just, thank you so much for the bio. It's always sometimes cringe hearing it, but you just have to embrace all that you've done. I think in this part of the world, we are taught to be humble and to just discard, the hard work that we've done. But thank you so much for that. So just a little bit about me. I started my career, I graduated from Covenant University about 18 years ago. That sounds like really old, really long time ago that I graduated from Covenant. I graduated with the first class, and I was the best graduating student in my set as well. And then I got into the ICANN race. I became chartered in 2011, and I became a fellow in 2023. And then, everyone in this room, as finance professionals, you always need to keep updating yourself because things are always changing. And like I said earlier, you are no longer competing with Nigerians. You're not competing with your classmates. You're competing globally. So I'm also an associate global management accountant with CIMA. I got that in 2022. And the itch came again, and I went on to get my executive MBA from IE Business School in Madrid. I graduated in May of this year. And I'm telling you that I'm already feeling restless again. Like, what's next? There's always something. My career started at KPMG. I worked in the consumer markets practice of the audit division as an associate and grew through the ranks. I left as an assistant manager. And while I was in KPMG, I got the opportunity to work in the US, and I'll talk about that as we go along. I had a 2-year rotation in the KPMG office in Orange County, California. And as a patriotic Nigerian, I came back to Nigeria and moved on to Pernod Ricard as finance controller. Pernod Ricard is a wines and spirits, is a French-owned wines and spirits company. So if you know Jameson, Martell, that's the company that produces that product. And then I joined Microsoft in 2018, and I've been there ever since. Like she also mentioned in my bio, I sit on the board of FAIRS. It's a startup delivery company. I'm sure people here might have interacted with FAIRS, for your logistics and all of that. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's my LinkedIn handle. And you can also catch me on Instagram. I am on Twitter, but Twitter is like my chilling zone. I just go to Twitter to chill out, right? And I recently started a YouTube channel. I started a YouTube channel, I think July of this year. After my MBA, I became bored. My Saturdays were free. There was no assignments to do. There was no forum to join. There was no case study to read. And I just decided, let me dish out these career advices on my YouTube channel. So please follow me on my YouTube channel. I talk a lot about so many things on there. So our outline today, So our outline today, we're just going to be going through this 4 outline. We'll first start with building a strong personal brand. What does that really mean? And then how do we turn our skills and strengths into opportunities at this early stage of our careers? How do we create value? Can you hear me?
The screen is not moving. Yes, we can hear you, but we can't see the first page.
Oh, wow.
You can maybe let me share. Okay.
Can you see it now?
No, we can see the first page, the standing out in the other one.
Oh, wow. I've moved.
You can maybe stop sharing and reshare.
Okay.
Maybe that's true. Yeah, thank you. Yes, you can see now.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is even better because I couldn't see your faces. So I was saying that this is our outline that we'll be going through today. We'll start with what it means to build a strong personal brand. And then we'll talk about how we turn our skills and strengths into opportunities. We'll talk about how to create value without years of experience. At this early stage, how do you create value? And what are the habits and mindsets to accelerate our career growth? Right, so we'll move on now to building a strong personal brand. Let me ask first, whenever you hear personal brand, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? You can just drop it in the chat. When you hear personal brand, what's that thing that goes through your mind? I can't see. I don't know how. Let's see. Maybe I need to know this because I can't see you guys. Okay. How do I? Sorry. My husband is sleeping. I work in a tech company, but I'm not always techy. So when you hear personal brand, what comes to your mind?
Yes, so we have some chats in the chat box. I can help you read it out. So someone says visibility, someone says personal values, someone says professional reputation, someone says how people see me, someone says personal identity, someone says putting yourself in the face of people and providing value, and then someone says what people see in me. Yeah. And then
Okay,
someone says, oh,
I'm glad nobody said having multiple followers on social media. Okay, I think we're good now. So your personal brand is really what people say about you when you're not in the room, you know. We may not like it that people judge us unfairly, but the truth of the matter is perception, people's perception of you shapes the reality of how they treat you. Their perception of you shapes the way they engage with you. If someone thinks you are sloppy, if someone thinks you are slow, if someone thinks you are not smart, they will engage with you in that light. And that's why your personal brand is really important. When people call your name, what comes to their minds? If I mention Oprah Winfrey, what comes to your mind? If I mention Tony Elumelu, what comes to your mind? If I mention Ibukun Awoshika, what comes to your mind? That thing that comes to your mind is the brand that you have associated with them, is the way you perceive them. When you meet them one-on-one and you are their friends and you interact with them, they may not be what you perceive them to be. But what you see on the outside is what you associate with them as their personal brand. Does that make sense? And that's what a personal brand is all about. And your personal brand is shaped by several things. Your competence. How many of you, where you work, you notice that your boss always reaches out to call one person? There's a specific particular person on your team that your boss, whenever they have a project, is that person they will put on. They'll say that person should lead everybody. That's because they perceive that that person is competent. That person has skills and abilities that allows them to demonstrate, that allows them to achieve those goals. So your personal brand is shaped by competence, is shaped by character. If you have a friend who you know that this person, they're always exaggerating. When you have, or someone that you know that lies, for example, their ways are not straight. When you have any big thing to do, they are not the first people you go to, because you already have a perception, this person is a liar. You won't do business with someone that this guy is always shortchanging people, because that's the personal brand you associate with them. So your competence, your consistency, are you reliable? Can we say for a fact that who you are, what we experience every day is the same? And my experience of you is the same experience Bukola has of you, is the same experience Mubarak has of you, is the same experience Damilola has of you? Or are you here, you are nice, there, you are wicked? Do you understand? Those are all the things that shape your personal brand. And a very important aspect of personal branding is about communicating the value that you bring. So it's not just good enough that you have the skills, you have the competencies, we know you can do the job. Can you communicate the value that you bring to your team? How do you talk about that value? And how do you, if we ask you to do to write a report. From the way you write the report, you can tell what your personal brand is. I can perceive what your personal brand is. If I see a report, for example, that has different fonts, different font type, it tells me that you don't pay attention to details. And the unfortunate thing about personal branding is every day, the activities we do, they shape our personal brand. The way people relate with you, the way people interact with you, they are shaping your personal brand. And that's why sometimes your boss can just say, oh, don't call him, oh, this one, he will just go MIA. If you tell him to go and do something, you will just start looking for him, you'll be following up. It's because of how they have interacted with you, what they have perceived from all those interactions. That's what makes them come to that sort of conclusion about you. That may not be who you are, but that's what your day-to-day is communicating to everyone that is interacting with you. So your personal brand is very important. And it starts from now. It starts from right now. Not when you are 20 years in career, not when you are 10 years in career. It starts from right now. So why is it important to build a personal, why are we talking about this personal brand thing now? Like I said earlier, the world has become a global village. You are no longer competing with your classmates from Landmark University or your classmates in FUTA, the people you graduated with. You are now competing across the globe. You are competing with people all over the world. Today, when you are applying for US visa, they ask you for all your social media handles because they prejudge you from your tweets. They prejudge you from what you are posting on your Instagram. They prejudge you from what you are posting on your LinkedIn. In fact, when we go outside today as professionals, what's one thing when you meet someone, you are either asking for, oh, once they tell you their name, you are looking for them on LinkedIn, you want to quickly follow them. That's how you keep up with them, right? Recruiters also go to your LinkedIn and they go and see. So if there's anyone here whose LinkedIn is not optimized, I hope that one of the actions you will take after this session is to go and optimize your LinkedIn. Go and clean it up. That's what I mean. Go and clean it up. Make sure that everything is nice and good, right? I don't like to quote numbers without checking. So I went and checked and I saw that Nigeria graduates every year, about 600,000 graduates are entering the job market every year. And the number of jobs are not necessarily increasing, right? If you look at all the banks in Nigeria, how many people do they employ as entry level? Maybe 5%. I'm not even sure it's up to 5% of this 600,000. So that tells you how crazy the competition for talent is out there. And people want the best of the best. They want to know that when I hire this person, they can deliver on the job. They have great attitude and they are not going to bring my organization to disrepute. So when you have a strong personal brand, right? There are people that, there's a guy that you might know him on LinkedIn. His name is Onduka. For the longest time, I had no idea that he was not even a graduate because of the way that he presented himself on LinkedIn. And even before he graduated from university, the personal brand he had created for himself had already started to open doors for him. He had already started to meet important people. He had already started to engage with leaders just because of the personal brand he had started building even before he left school. So if, for example, I have a job, I want to offer a job of a comms, I want to bring in someone into our communication department. and I see somebody who there's no footprints online, nothing, and I see this guy who is eloquent on LinkedIn, I may invite both of them, maybe because they are both 2-1. But let me tell you, my bias already is with the guy that I've seen his work. And that's what your personal brand does for you. It opens doors for you. Even doors that you don't think, even doors that you may not feel qualified for. Your personal brand opens doors for you. And that's why it's really important that you start building your personal brand even from today. I want to believe that everybody here on this call has a LinkedIn account. I want to believe so, because that's your, if you're a professional and you're not on LinkedIn, I don't know what you're doing anywhere else. That's like that's where you should be. That's your CV. In fact, there are some jobs on LinkedIn that you don't even have to send CV. Easy apply. It's from your LinkedIn profile. They are judging you from your LinkedIn profile, right? So it's very important that we start building that personal brand even now. And it's not about having 200,000 followers. It's not about dropping banger tweets. It's not about posting every day on LinkedIn. It's about being intentional about people's perception of you. You can't change the way people think about you, but you can influence the way people think about you. You can influence how people experience you in the way you carry yourself, in the way you approach your day-to-day tasks, in the way that you show up online, right? We shouldn't see your name and see banger tweets on Twitter. We shouldn't see your name in the comment section on Instablog Nigeria cursing people. You are already shaping your personal brand if you're doing those things. You want to be intentional, because again, it's not about today. I'm sure all of you heard what happened last week on social media about how someone that everybody rated highly, people started to pull out their old tweets and they started to see things that we can't even begin to say here. So you need to be intentional, because you don't know how far those things can go. You don't know. So I'm going to pause. I think we'll have question and answer at the end, right? Okay.
Yes, at the end. Yes.
So now let's move on to turning your skills and strengths into opportunities. I'm sure if you are still in uni, if you're doing your NYSC, you are asking yourself, what strengths do I have? Like, I've not even worked. What strengths do I have? The thing is that we often underestimate our skills. You know, there was one joke that was going on around many years ago about how being able to manage a WhatsApp group is a skill. Being able to bring people together on a call like this is a skill, right? A lot of us underestimate the impact of the things that come naturally to us. Maybe you are curious, you see something, you question. That's a skill. That's a strength. Not everybody sees things and question them. Maybe you are good at organizing. Follow up. If someone tells you, do this thing, hey, you will bring down heaven to make sure it gets done. Maybe you are diligent. Those are skills. Those are strengths that we all have. And my strength might not be another person's strength. So this quote says, a winner is someone who recognizes his God-given talents, works his tail off to develop them into skills, and uses these skills to accomplish his goals. So you may think that you don't have any skill, because whenever we talk about skills, people just think about the hard skills. Oh, how to use Excel, how to draft a report, how to use Power BI, how to prepare a financial statement. But at the early stage of your career, let me be honest with you, nobody is going to hire you because you can draft financial statements. Nobody is going to hire you because they want you to come and turn around. You know, all those things you guys say in the interviews. Nobody is hiring you to come and do all those. If your CV says you graduated in 2023, I mean, why would I be expecting so much of you? But the soft skills that you have, you know, your curiosity, your drive, your resilience, you know, your solution-minded spirit, your problem-solving skills, even if you don't know the answer, that skill that you try and find the answer, even though you don't know it. Your follow-up skills, your curiosity, all those skills, they are strengths that you can leverage in the early part of your career. So how do you identify your strength? The first thing is sitting with yourself and asking yourself, what are those things that comes naturally to me? Those things that I can do without anybody prompting me to do them. What are those skills? What are the skills that people come to me for? There are some of us that people know that if they come to you, they will find an answer to their problem. There are some of us that people know that, if I need to organize a workshop and I call Bukola, she will make sure it happens. Those are strengths, those are skills that you can leverage. And those are skills that will set you apart in the workplace, right? Those are skills that managers are looking for, especially when you're just starting out in your career, right? So, feedback, ask your classmates. Maybe you're someone that explains in school, you do tutorials for people. You grasp things easily. Someone just explains something to you before they finish. You have connected the dots. It's a skill. It's a skill. Maybe you're someone that you teach people naturally. You find yourself, you organize tutorials for your colleagues. That subject that everybody is still wondering, what's this professor, what's this lecturer saying? You've understood, and you can bring people together. You can break down the information in a way that they can easily understand. That's a skill, is a strength. Or academic wins. Maybe you're always winning awards in your business studies class from year 1 to year 4. Accounting, you are good at it. Before anybody says, oh, this problem in accounting, you've done the debit and credit in your head, is a skill. But sometimes we underestimate the impact of those kind of skills because we think skills has to be one complex, big thing. You know what's funny? You start your career, hard skills, you're learning hard skills. And then when you get to management level, the hard skills no longer matters because you have people coming under you that know the hard skills. If you ask me now, IFRS 16, I might not be able to explain it to you because I no longer do the schedule of IFRS 16. I'm now seeing big picture, but I have team members who their work is to read IFRS and understand it. So you start your career, trying to master hard skills, and then as you go up, soft skills becomes important. So these skills are important. Or things you did during your NYSC. During your NYSC, you just found that you could sing. You just found out that you could role play. You just found out that you could teach. During my NYSC, I offered to teach secondary school students about the SDG goals. And I was going there instead of going to the monthly clearance, and just going to go and play there. I will go to that school, teach them and all that. So there are things that you had to do during your NYSC, and maybe they are not natural to you, but you enjoyed it. You just found that, okay, I actually enjoy teaching. Oh. Like I never knew I could. I loved teaching. Oh, I actually enjoy solving maths. Oh, I actually enjoy solving people's problems, right? Those kind of skills. That's how to identify your strengths. And those strengths are what becomes your skills that you can use to shine in the workplace. You know, those are the skills that you can use in these early years when you don't have experience. Those are the things that you can use to shine in the workplace. So, how do you turn your skills into opportunities? If there's a skill that you have now, maybe you love speaking. I have a friend who, back at KPMG, she loved speaking. She was initially in tax, and then she moved to HR because HR gave her more opportunity to speak. In tax, you're just doing calculation and explaining to FIRS and LIRS and tax authorities. But she loved to speak. And then she moved from tax to people and culture, which is like HR, you know, the HR unit that helps organizations, HR units, like HR consulting. And today, she's left KPMG and she's built a thriving business out of that. So, what's that skill that you've identified that you have? How can you showcase that skill? Remember what I said about communicating the value that you bring. Very important. By showcasing those skills and communicating the value that you bring, you automatically see that you start getting recognition. People start knowing you for that thing, right? And that starts opening up prospects, maybe career, maybe not career. If, for example, you can sell anything, like you are such a good marketer, you know how to convince people, you may find that as you grow in your career, whenever they need to negotiate a deal with a client, they will just say, oh, Damilola, you know, this thing comes naturally to you, you know, oh yeah, go and be the one to tell the clients that there's an overrun, because you know how to package it, you know how to communicate it in a way that the client will not get angry and the client will understand. And that's how new opportunities, new career prospects unlock for you. I talked about working in the US while I was at KPMG. I never planned to work in the US. As a matter of fact, that was my first ever in my life. That was my first ever international trip outside Nigeria. And what led to it? Okay, maybe I should pack it. So, how do you package your achievements? Communicating the value that you bring is even becoming more important than the value itself. Because if you're doing good work and you don't know how to showcase the work that you're doing, you don't know how to communicate the value that you bring, nobody will know that you have those values. So I don't like that word package because of but you guys, you get what I mean. Not the packaging you see on social media, not the fake, not the fake type of packaging, but the way you put your achievements together. And I think it's very important for you at this level. You'll be going for interviews. You don't really have any work experience, but maybe you volunteered in your church. Maybe you did a project during NYSC. How you put that together and communicate it is really important. Because let's be honest, at this stage, everybody will be invited for the tests based on you all came out with 2-1 or first class or 2-2. Everybody will get a seat at the table. Come and show yourself. But the real test is it's not passing the test though. The real test is passing the interview. And passing the interview means showcasing your value, the value that you bring, irrespective of how immaterial you think it is, irrespective of how intangible you think it is. So, how do you do that? Don't just focus on what you did. Because we really underestimate the value that we bring when we focus on what you did. Let me give you an example. Let's say during your NYSC, during the in camp, your team won best platoon or something like that, right? And you were part of the leaders of that platoon. What you did is not just that you were a leader, is that you organized the team, is that you motivated them, is that you came up with ideas. You see, from just your team winning, and maybe you were not even the leader in the team, right? Maybe you're not the leader in the team, but you added one line to that song that they sang in the competition that made you guys win. Don't just say, during my NYSC, I served in Kogi State. Highlight what you did. My participation in the singing challenge led to my team winning top 3, becoming top 3 in the competition. Maybe you served in a school, and to you, you're just going teaching, you're just teaching. But maybe you notice that you started getting commendation from the principal that the students are coming to class, they love your teaching. That's an achievement. But you just say, I served in Ojodu Grammar School as a biology teacher. But your students, how did they improve? Because you started teaching them biology. How was their countenance? How many of them passed their common entrance simply because you taught them biology? You can see what I'm saying. You were just a teacher. NYSC posted you there. You were not even happy when they posted you there. But see the impact of you being posted there. You can showcase that on your resume. You can showcase that on your LinkedIn. But you say, I don't have any I don't have any work experience. So that's an experience. But it depends on how someone else will say, I just served in Kogi local government. Another person will say, I served in Kogi local government. During my NYSC year, I was responsible for automating the record keeping in the local government. Another person will say, during my time there, I started drafting reports, communicating what was happening in the hospital to my CDA. That led to them doing so and so, employing more doctors, employing more nurses. You can see the same person, 2 different people, the same task, but one, the way they showcase their value is different from how the other person showcase their value, right? So let's move on. So how do you create value without years of experience? We've talked about skills. We'll talk now about attitude, but then speed of execution is also important. And then reliability. How reliable are you? Can your boss say, if I give this task to Salami, I can go to bed and I know that tomorrow they would have done it? Or they have to be calling you every 5 minutes.
Sorry.
So I think our network is out. So let's just give it like a few minutes for her to join.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, give her a few minutes. I hope we are gaining value for our time, because see, even me, let me tell you, even me that I've reached at least one point in my career, I still always write, I still always jot things that my book and pen, because these people are like top professionals and I have a lot of things to learn. A lot of things to learn. I want my growth to be rapid. I don't want to be like the normal GT or the normal analyst. I want my growth to be rapid. That's why I always learn from them, because it's easier learn from people who have worked that part. Yeah, your growth will be rapid and everything. So I hope we are taking notes, whether on book or on our phone, notepad and all. Please and please, they say that the shortest pencil, yeah, is better than the longest memory or so. So even if like you are writing on your book or something, please try and take notes, because all these things sooner or later will be very, very useful for you. There are many things that I am currently using in my career right now that I've heard a long time ago, maybe like when I was in school, like maybe all those conferences I attend in school, and like I'm currently using them now in my career, and they are very good for me. So please and please take note. I've learned a lot of things. I've learned about the strengths you can leverage in the early part of your career and so on and so forth. I've learned that you can influence the way people think about you, right? Even in my current company, like in my department, if you ask for Bukola, okay, they already know Bukola, okay. I'm just like your own analyst here. So yeah, she's back. Thank you. You can go on.
Oof, technology. I'm so
Next,
sorry. My
network
internet
here.
just went off. No
Yes,
idea what
yes.
happened there.
Let me pin you.
Apologies for that interruption.
It's fine.
Let me share my screen again. I was like, what's going on? Sorry, let me just catch my breath.
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. Okay, can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can see the value equation. I like
Yes. Okay.
this equation.
So, how do you add value as a career starter? Remember what I said, that everybody at this point, nobody's hiring you because you're going to come and turn around the company, right? Even though you say so in your interview, we just smile, because at the end of the day, you don't know so much. And it's not a bad thing. Everybody started from somewhere. So how do you add value? Be curious. Ask questions. When someone tells you, when your boss gives you a job to do, ask questions, right? When they say, oh, I remember back then in audits, they'll say, go and vouch the assertion existence. And you're wondering, in my mind, I'm wondering, how did this person know that existence is the assertion to test? Like, or they say, go and vouch owner, go and test ownership. And I'm just there like, how did they connect fixed assets with ownership? How did they connect inventory with existence? If you don't ask, you will not know. And should I tell you one secret? The best place or the best time to ask as many questions as you like is when you're just starting your career. Because people can pardon you and say, this is her first job now. She's never worked anywhere. She doesn't know. But if you're asking questions 10 years down, What does existence mean? People will be looking at you like, are you for real? So be curious, ask questions. When you get assigned a task that you don't understand, don't keep quiet and just go and do what you think they are saying. Ask, clarify, right? Pay attention to details. Don't just do it for the sake of doing. If your boss has corrected your work once, make sure that that correction that they made, when you are doing the report next time, they don't make the same correction. I remember back in those days, we didn't really have, we had computer. When I started my career, yes, we had laptops. We did have laptops, but we always had to print. That time, there was no cloud. We had hard copy binders, you know, those big files, those big folders. So you print your work, you will file your work inside the folder. And your manager or your senior will always review the paper, because when you do your work, you print it to file, and then they will review it with red biro. What I will usually do is to keep the review, so that next time when I'm submitting that work again, I will go back. All the places where they put red biro, I want to make sure that I have looked at those areas and they don't raise any other issue in that same. They can raise another issue, but the same issue area where they raised issue yesterday, make sure they don't raise another issue there tomorrow. Pay attention to details. Study your team. Study your manager. Some people will say, my manager is just wicked. My boss is just wicked. Maybe your boss just likes summary. But if you don't pay attention to details, you will just do things as you think they should be done. Right? Notice the way things happen in your team. Notice the way the people you met in that team, how do they behave? What's their work style? Pay attention to details. It's not just about reports. It's also about in the way your team dynamics. Show initiative. There are some things that they don't have to tell you before you do them. Your boss has given you a task. They should not be the ones following up on you. Ask him, how far? Are you done? Are you done? When are you going to be done? You should be giving them updates per second, not per second, obviously, but before they come to you, give them updates. Give them updates. Micromanage them. Let them not be the one micromanaging you. When you go for a meeting with your boss, do they have to tell you to take the minutes? Your boss is the one doing all the talking, for God's sake. You are just listening. Your boss should not ask you when you get to the office, did you write minutes? Your answer should be, boss, sure now, of course. Your boss might not say, okay, write the minutes. Okay, take the minutes. But just be observant and demonstrate initiative. There are team members that I have that when an email gets sent, even if that email is addressed to me, they already know that I'm going to flow the monkey to them. They already know that I'm going to ask them for the input to answer that email. Without asking, they've responded. They've sent me, oh, Aramide, I saw this email. This is the information you need. That's what it means to show initiative. Not waiting for things to be assigned to you before you do them. You are the most junior on the team. Given all your team members in this team, they are all 10 years in career, 5 years in career. There are certain things that they don't have to tell you. That's what people mean when they say, I've paid my dues. I've paid my dues. You have to pay your dues. Don't be too woke to pay your dues. Because the same way you are paying your dues, the people coming after you will also pay their dues. I'm not saying be a pushover. I'm not saying be a people pleaser. I'm just saying know what is important and act on it without being told. Show up when others hide. There are people that the way they accelerated their career is by doing more. The way they accelerated their career is by doing more. What that job that nobody wants to do, they will raise their hand and do it. And that earns them a star with their bosses. That makes their bosses endear to them. When everybody's hiding, put up your hand. Number one, you gain skills that others don't gain.
Yeah, I remember. Your screen is not moving. Yeah, I think it's like what happened first time. Maybe you can just stop sharing and reshare again. Thank you.
Today is a good day.
Yes. I think his network was fine. And then since you can also
a good day.
After, so
okay.
Thank you.
Today is a good day. It's a good day. Please let me know if you can see now.
Yes, we can see it now. Yeah, how you add value to
Yes. Be solution oriented. Bosses, like when you come with a problem, demonstrates that you have also thought about the solution. It shows ownership. You know, some of us have this mentality that is my guy's wahala. No, you don't grow that way. Show ownership, demonstrate ownership. When you see a problem, highlight it. But don't just highlight problems. Don't be the person that every time we hear his voice, so problem. Come with solutions. Okay, this is your solution might not be taken, but your boss will appreciate that. You took this job like your own, and you were already thinking of how to fix it. Customer comes, complains, oh, what I bought from your company, something, own it. Let me check your GL. We've not gotten the credits. We've not gotten the inflow. Please, can you send us your evidence of payments? Can you send us the evidence, the receipts from your bank so that we clear your AR? Don't just say, it's not my job, oh, I'm not the one. Demonstrate ownership. Be solution-minded. As you find problem, come with solution. Bosses appreciate people like that. They become indispensable. And then people will say, my guy is so partial. But that person, look at that person that your boss always gravitates towards. What makes them different from you? Maybe because they show initiative, they show up, they raise their hand. So how do you build value? Because creating value and building value are different things. Creating value is adding to something, adding to the value already on ground. Building value is how you, in your own self, produce quality work, be excellent at what you do. Take on volunteering projects, but be strategic. Your volunteering project should not be going to buy people's lunch, because that will only make you a messenger. You'll be the one that every time someone wants to buy snacks in KFC, it's you they are sending. Look for work that positions you strategically, and then keep adding knowledge to yourself through certifications, courses, and show up. Build your virtual resume on LinkedIn. I think someone asked a question about that, and we'll get to that in the Q&A part. I'll share more about that. Some of these things that I'm highlighting here, they were things that positioned me to be able to get that US opportunity I spoke about earlier. I remember that on one of my projects, I was in my second year in KPMG at the time. My in-charge the senior on the job just resigned abruptly. And we were on a client that were a public limited liability company, which means that they have to file their financials 6 months after their year end. Even though I didn't know what I was doing. But when my boss comes to the office on Saturday, I will join her. And she's saying, do this, bring that. And I started learning a lot of things that my mates did not know. Because there was no senior on the job, and we just had manager and semi-senior associates, I had to learn a lot. It then meant that I had to work on captions that normally, if there was a senior, I would not have worked on that. And that showcased me, puts me in the top 3 in my level at the time. And when this opportunity for US came, automatically, the firm wanted to present their best. And so they presented the top 3, and I was part of them. Interviewed, and I got the job. So what I'm saying, I'm not boboing you. I'm not just packaging you. I'm telling you some things that have shown up in my own career, things that have made me stand out in my own career. What are the habits and mindsets for accelerated growth? We've talked about some of them throughout this presentation. Excellence. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, but it's still that how you had value as a career starter.
Ooh. Oh my God, what a day. Oh. We are all Nigerians, so please pardon me. It's not me, it's the network. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes. So if you want to stand out, right? If you want to be in the top rated professionals, honestly, the bar is very low today. The bar is low. So what that means is you have a bigger, better opportunity to stand out if you just do just a few tweaks here and there. Excellence, how you show up every day in your work as a person, physically, and in your work. I was coming to this session, I did my makeup. It's 5 p.m. I didn't have to do my makeup because if I don't do my makeup, you guys will not judge me, right? You might say, oh, she's been busy, blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to show up as my best self. I stayed up last night because I had a crazy week doing these slides. I could have just come and just talk, blah, 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 to you guys, but I did the slides. Normally, what I would have loved to do on these slides was to put like animation, right? But I had a really crazy week. And even though this had been on my to-do list from Monday, I was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I only had time to do it yesterday. But I could have said, oh, I had a busy week. They will understand. I will just talk from my head. But I still put a slides together. So show up excellently. Don't deliver bad work because my senior will review it now. My boss can never let that work go. Be the professional that wants to do the work that your boss will say, oh, it's fine. Send the mail. Send the schedule. Be the professional that your boss doesn't have to spend 2 hours cross-checking your calculation because you know, boy, yeah, oh, rubbish. If you're not Yoruba, it means that guy would have done nonsense. That lady, that girl, she doesn't take her time. She's always rushing. Have a growth mindset. A growth mindset is a mindset of people who want to get better, who want to improve themselves daily, every day. They want to get 1% better. They don't make excuses. Be coachable. When you don't know something, don't pretend you know it. Have an ownership mentality. I talked about this earlier. It's not my father's company, yes, but you earn a salary here. It's not my father's company, but when you leave this company, you want a recommendation at your next company. When you leave your job, when you leave a company, do people miss you? Or they say, thank God, that guy has left this thing. One problem down. Or when you leave a job, people say, it will be difficult to step into his shoes. He just spent 1 year in this company, but we all felt his impact. Are there people like that in your team? That when they leave the company, it feels like, how will the team move forward now? This person was so good at their job, not just because their work was excellent, but their attitude was also excellent. Be a team player. In today's world, you cannot do it alone. You are going to work in a team. Don't be the snitch in the team. Don't be the one that pulls the team down. Don't be the one that when we share the work, we have to be reminding you. We'll send WhatsApp, we'll call you, we'll send text, we'll email you, we'll reminder. Don't be that person. Learn how to collaborate with your colleagues. When they put people in a team, don't be the one that just wants to outshine everybody. Be the one that wants the team to win. Be the one that wants your team at work to win. Not that you want to be here and all your colleagues should be down there. High agency, knowing what to do part-time, taking ownership, not giving up too soon, not being like, I beg, cannot come and die, you know. Well, it's not my daddy's company. You know? Identifying gaps in your skills and making efforts to close that gaps. If you know you are not good in Excel and your job requires you to be good in Excel, don't wait for your boss to say, your Excel skills are so bad. Today, knowledge is so easy with AI, with YouTube, with social media. A lot of people offer free trainings that you're not even paying for. Just show up and come and learn. Be curious, be resilient. Don't just give up at the slightest appearance of problem. At the slightest appearance of a challenge, don't just give up. Push. This is when you should push. You are young, you have energy. Push. You know, do all your professional exams. Now that you have energy, yes, you will skip a few Saturdays of Owambe and showing up online, but those are skills that will carry you years and years and years into your career. High performance habits, preparation. Preparation can mean creating the agenda for the meeting. Preparation can mean anticipating what will come next. If you've been in a team and you are the accountants, you are the fixed asset accountants or AR accountants, accounts receivable clerk, account receivable officer. Preparation means as soon as you are following up with Treasury to check all the inflows in the bank and crediting the customer's accounts. Be consistent. Be consistent. Continue to develop yourself. Continuous learning. Even I am still learning. Even I am still learning. Learn hard skills, soft skills. And these days is easy. You have podcasts on your phone. Don't just be listening to podcasts of the girls that open breasts or all these unserious podcasts. Focus on the one that will improve your life, that will improve the way you show up at work. Be diligent, be disciplined, be a hard worker. Imbibe the culture of integrity. As accountants, as finance people, integrity should be our core value because of the position that we occupy in the organization. We must have integrity. Be a hard worker. Work hard. When your deliverables are due, submit them. I've worked with several analysts, and there are some people that they're just problematic. You have to remind them of their job. You have to not just remind them, follow up that they do their job. Then when they do the job, errors everywhere. So you end up just doing, the person is just there. You are looking for the opportunity for them to just say, we are downsizing this thing, and they are the first to go. Because in fact, I work with such people, and I know how, as a boss, and I know how annoying it is. As a manager, your plate is always full. People are pulling you left, right, and center. The best gift any manager can have is to have a good team, a team that is vested in their work. I always tell young people, your work is to make your boss look good. You may not like it, but that's your job. Your job is to make your boss look good. I have team members that I will protect them with my life. And I have team members that if they say we are downsizing tomorrow, it's their name that will go first. And the difference between those two people are these things I'm telling you: being proactive, being a hard worker, even when they are not required to come on Saturday, but they know that there's a deliverable on Monday. This woman was busy throughout the week. How can I make her look good? You will see them online. Even if I didn't tell them, come online. Monday morning, Aramide, they have prepared this. They anticipate my needs before I even ask, you know. So, in closing, you are at a pivotal stage in your career, and the habits, the mindsets that you imbibe today is building your personal brand without you knowing. Is building the career future, your future, your career, your future, your career over the longer term, because your career is long. The other day, I posted on my LinkedIn that I've been working for 17 years, and I don't feel like it. But I have bosses who have been working 40 years. That my 17 years is like baby beside them. And I also have colleagues who have been working 2 years. So think about how all the things you're doing now, they're shaping the next 40 years. I've never applied for a job before. All the jobs I've had came to me by referral. All the jobs I've had came to me by referral. Because people say, I've worked with her. No. Aramide on your team, she'll get it done. You can count on her. And that's the reputation, that's the brand you want to build. And that starts from today. It starts from now. It starts from what you start doing on Monday. It starts from how you start showing up in your job. It starts from how you show up. Some of you are still, maybe you're in final year, how you show up with your projects. Don't just do your projects because we have to submit it in 4 weeks. That project, you don't know where it can take you to. So do it with excellence. Whatever it is you are doing, do it with excellence. Bring your best self always. And I promise you that you will definitely reap the rewards. It's not going to go unseen. The job I had before coming to Microsoft, the person who referred me was my first ever, am I still here? Was my first ever performance manager at KPMG. I actually saw him yesterday, and I was reminding him of some things that happened as far back as 2008. Just referred me to another colleague that had never worked with me. And that's what you want your career story to be. You want people to think about you and to think, oh, that's the guy I want on my team. So I'm going to pause here for questions and reactions. I'm going to look into the chats now.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much, Aramide. This was really eye-opening. Even me, self, that started my career, I still had a lot of things to jot down because I'm still in my early stage. And I remember then, even like just last month, so I'm also in audits, and so I'm always asking questions. And now I don't feel shy about it. I ask it with my full chest because I don't know it, and
Yes.
there's no crime not to know. So it feels really clarifying and eye-opening that okay, at this stage I am able to grab as much as I can at this stage while growing up. So thank you very much for this session. We really appreciate. Ebuka, is it Ebuka? You had your hands up a long time, and then Jamil. Okay, Jamil, you can go on before we go into the questions we already had like before now. Hi, Jamil. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much. I can hear you. Yeah, thank you very much for the wonderful session. My question is just a straight one. What are those red flags you think recruiters or managers notice that might hold a candidate in terms of application, even if they perceive absolute competence in you, but then that red flag they perceive in you could deter your opportunity of them employing you? I hope you got my question.
I think for me, yes. For me, curiosity. If you come to an interview and they say, do you have any question? You don't have any question. I'll be asking myself, is this person even interested in working in this company? Right? Or I've been in assessment center back at KPMG where one person just stood aloof. All the team members were trying to solve the issue, the problem that they put before them. And one person was just looking. It tells me that you're not going to be a good team player. Because if we are all watching you, even when we are watching you, you are still not participating. How much more when we are not watching you? Number 3 is honesty. Like I said, integrity. If an interviewer asks you a question and you don't know, it's better to say, I've not come across this, but if I come across this, this is what I will do. Versus you lying, obvious lies. And then we know that you are lying. You've never come across that scenario. I remember when I was interviewing to join Microsoft, my interviewer asked me a question about IAS 12, right? And I was so sure of my answer. I told her, she said, are you sure? I said, I'm sure of my answer. And then she went to go and bring the IFRS book. And she opened the IAS 12. And she showed me. And she said to me that she put me forward because when she showed me, it wasn't like I was entirely wrong. I mixed it up. I think it was monetary and non-monetary assets or something like that. And then she said, when she showed me, my attitude was like, thank you so much. I will never forget this. If you ask me now, I don't even remember the question. And she said, this person is teachable. Like you got it wrong. And when I highlighted to you that you got it wrong, you took responsibility and you stopped arguing. So being teachable, they're just very small things. When you come to an interview, you are obviously not prepared. And I have another candidate that has prepared so hard. And you can tell when someone is not prepared. They are rambling, they are going off points, they don't even know what the company does. They don't even remember when they submitted their resume. They don't even remember the job they applied for. They are there, just to mark register. Let it not be like, I don't want that kind of person on my team. So those are some of the red flags.
Okay, thank you. Ebuka, your hands are up. You can go on.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Please go on. Thank you.
I think you need to project. I can't hear you.
I can't hear you, please. Okay, so why we just okay. Yeah, go
One
on.
of my major challenge was communicating my ideas to my colleagues in school. Each time I'm giving a presentation, probably a public speaking, I'm always fidgeting on stage. And getting into this corporate world now, I feel communication is the key. So I would like to know how I can go about it.
So what's the specific issue? Is it that you are shy? Is it that you don't know how to articulate your ideas? You know, what would you say like a specific issue is?
Well, I would say the specific issue is that I'm always nervous. Like each time I get on stage, my heart keeps beating or something.
Hmm. Okay. What I would say is you need to keep practicing. Every one of us, even I still have stage fright sometimes. But you have to just do it afraid. You have to keep practicing. And something my manager told me, my boss, one of my bosses told me, she said, use the lowest hanging fruit to build your muscle. What does that mean? If you are in a team meeting, ask your question. The stakes are low. You are with your team. If you are with your team, as we are now, if you ask a question that does not make sense, my dear, nobody remembers after this call. But you've used that. As you ask this question now, you've used that to build your muscle, right? Don't wait for perfection. Perfection will never come. You get better by doing. So start with low-hanging fruits. In your team, ask question. In a team meeting, ask question. And you find that once you start to put your mind out, once you start to put your words out there, it becomes easier going forward. The first time your heart is beating fast, hey, you're nervous, you say it, nobody reacts. You're like, okay, so this is it. The next time, and before you know, naturally, it just comes naturally to you. And also don't overthink it. There's something called spotlight effects. And it's one of the reasons why people are always afraid, why people feel nervous. Spotlight effect basically means that everybody's looking at me. You understand? Like everybody's just focusing on me. If I make a mistake, they will notice. Guess what? Nobody's focusing on you. Everybody has their problem that they are dealing with. So just put your voice out there and take it that you are training yourself. You can also join Toastmasters. Toastmasters, I just joined Toastmasters this year to build my public speaking skills, because Toastmasters, you have to talk. It's like a talking club, like a speaking club. So you have to talk if you're a Toastmasters member. Also leverage what you have. Record yourself talking. Record yourself talking, play it back. What did I do well? What didn't I do well? Watch people talking, you know, speeches. How do they present their words? And that's how you get better.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aramide. Thank you. So let's quickly run through the ones that we have. So someone says, what are the career opportunities in finance that is rarely available in Nigeria? You know, there's audit, there's tax, and it's everywhere. So are there anyone that are really available in Nigeria that one can venture into? Guys,
there are emerging opportunities in ESG reporting. It's becoming, it's still very early stage in Nigeria, but in another 5 or maybe less than 5 years, it's going to be a big deal with climate change and everything, right? Audit, tax, FP&A, internal audits, compliance. You can even do products. I feel like finance people, we are so blessed because our skills allow us to blend easily anywhere. right? We have understanding of businesses. We have understanding of numbers. So really the world is our oyster as finance people. When I came into Microsoft, my head was like finance control, compliance, tax. But like in Microsoft, we have product finance. The product that we have has a finance. You have an Azure finance team. You have AI, Copilot finance team, and so many branches. Treasury, for example, investment banking. All those are things. Consulting, financial advisory. All those are things that finance professionals can explore. It doesn't have to be audit and tax. In fact, when I see even though I started my career in Big Four and I know how that impacted me, I always feel like young people should not just box themselves into Big Four. If you don't get into Big Four, your life has not ended. There are so many opportunities. As long as you are where you are learning, that's the most important thing. So make sure that wherever it is that you are learning, wherever it is that you are actually learning there, right? So
Yeah.
There are so many opportunities. It depends on what you like, what you enjoy doing. And I think in this stage of your life, you should be open to exploring, right? Don't just stay in one place. Explore as much as possible and then see what you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Before we continue, Aramide has dropped a LinkedIn page and a YouTube page on the chat box. So please do well to follow her on LinkedIn and YouTube. Thank you. So back to the question: how were you able to get into Microsoft? So we know that when we hear like Microsoft is one kind big place that, hey, God, please, God, when. So how were you able to get into Microsoft? Like, can you just give us like a brief summary? Yeah, maybe like 1 minute. Thank you.
It was a gamble. I'd always been an FMCG babe. And my best company to work was P&G while they were still in Nigeria. But unfortunately, a recruiter reached out to me. I didn't even know Microsoft was in Nigeria. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's how
I'm sure that you must have positioned yourself like in that place that they would reach out to you. So, young leaders, are you hearing? You're not on LinkedIn, like, where are you? Twitter, doing what? So please position yourself, be at that place that you'll be reached out to. Yeah, thank you. So yes, the next question is, what was the burning egg that spurred your success, and how can I catch the flame to succeed in a fast-paced world like ours? Are there lifelong skills that you recommend to young finance enthusiasts?
The burning ache that spurred me towards success was the fact that I didn't have examples growing up. You know, I didn't see anybody before me that had been successful. And I saw people around me that were successful, but nobody that I really knew. And I wanted to change that game from my generation, right? I wanted to position so that my children, my children's children, my siblings, I'm a firstborn girl, and everyone coming after me can have an example that they can follow. And that was it. Also, I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want to be poor. And the only thing I could do in order not to be poor was to be successful, right?
Yeah.
And all the skills that I've shared in today's meeting are some of the things that have helped me throughout my career.
Okay, thank you very much for that response. So someone says, if my goal is investment banking and I want to start out in insurance to gather experience and also funds to take, and also maybe get the funds to take professional courses, do you think that is reasonable?
I mean,
the goal is
insurance doing what? What will you be doing in insurance? I think what you will be doing is what is more important, right? So what kind of skills would you be getting in insurance? And can those skills tie back to investment banking? I would rather say that even if you're in insurance, maybe be in treasury, for example, be in their treasury departments, because that way you can pick up skills, analytical skills, financial modeling, all those things that will now help you as you progress your career towards investment banking. But like I said earlier, it's about the skills that you are picking up. It's not really about the company, or it's not really about the company. You know, it's the skills. So what skills, and those skills, are they transferable to investment banking where you eventually want to go? That's the more important thing that you should be concerned about.
Okay, thank you. So someone says, how do I stand out given the fact that I'm an introvert?
Do good work, do excellent work. All the things I've said today, you don't have to be an extrovert to do them. Nothing I said today is about being an extrovert. It's just really in the way you show up. You can be an introvert and you can still do excellent work. You can show initiative. You can be curious. All those things. I don't want to repeat myself because we are really pressed for time.
Yes. So someone says, how do you run Microsoft? I think
I don't
maybe
run Microsoft.
Exactly. I was about saying that you don't run Microsoft. She just works as a finance controller at Microsoft. So let's move to the next question most of our time. How can I put myself out there without minding the noise of what my employer and colleagues will think?
So I actually made a video on my YouTube channel at X specifically about this. I think it's about positioning, and I think it's about being strategic, right? There are some people that when you see their LinkedIn posts, you can tell that they are positioning for other jobs, right? And there are some people that when you see their LinkedIn posts, you can tell that, oh, it's something they learned, this person is curious, this person has a growth mindset. So it's about positioning. In my office, when I first started really posting on LinkedIn, I was also concerned that what will my colleagues think? But today, my colleagues are always asking me to tag them in my LinkedIn post because they're too shy to post. And they'll say, oh, Aramide, I'm sure you will make a post. Please add me. They're even the ones giving me ideas of things to post on my LinkedIn. But it's because of how I've positioned myself. I've not positioned myself as if I hate where I work, I hate my colleagues, my company is rubbish. As I promote career, I also promote what my company does. So I'm indirectly promoting myself as an ambassador of my company. So it's really about how you show up. You should check out that video on my YouTube where I talk about how you can leverage your 9 to 5 to build your personal brand. I gave some examples of things you can share.
I'll also check it out. Thank you. What are the major steps to be taken as a recent finance graduates who wants to aspire to build a successful career in finance, just like yourself? I think this whole webinar has already covered these steps to be taken. So please and please, you can rewatch the webinar or read the slides again. They are the slides are very comprehensive for you to get this. Someone says, how do I find my path in accounting? You know, accounting, that you can do audit, you can do maybe forensic accounting, you can do different accounting in finance also has like its own branches. So how does this person find his or her path?
What do you enjoy doing? And I know that in Nigeria it's difficult to start from there because the opportunities are very few, right? So I would say that just put yourself out there. I've seen colleagues of mine that we started at KPMG that branched, you know, and I've been thinking about doing a series on this where I bring my colleagues and we talk about their career path, and people have branched into different things from accounting. I've seen people who started, who went to the same school as I went to, same class, same course, accounting, and now they work at IFC doing investment, right? So I feel like what you should be concerned about in this early stage is building the right skills, being in a place where you can learn, rather than trying to figure out where you want to go. Because guess what? I can tell you audits, and then you get into audits and you don't like it. I can tell you FP&A, and then you get into FP&A and you don't like it. So it's about experimenting, being open, being curious, learning new things, and seeing what you naturally gravitate towards. What do you enjoy doing? And what I enjoy doing is very different from what you would enjoy doing. So thank you for this question. I think it tells me that we need to do that series that I've been thinking about.
Okay, so I think the last question here also covers your answer of you saying exploring, put yourself out there, and making sure that you are learning wherever you are. Because like, don't just be in a place that you're just static, doing like the same thing over and over again. Make sure you are learning, make sure you're asking questions. So I think this has been answered. There's some questions in the chat box that just came. Let me just quickly scroll through them because of our time. Okay, someone says, Ma, how can we build our resume as early professionals or sometimes as students with requirement of hard skills and professional summary?
Join fellowships.
Okay, yeah.
You know, my friend Iwelabi has a mentoring circle, right?
Yeah.
Where in that mentoring circle, you guys are reviewing financial statements. Those are hard skills. And today with AI, you can reframe it and show impact. It's an experience. Volunteer. If you volunteer, you get some skills. Even church volunteering counts. Volunteering in your church is actually experience you can put on your CV. Volunteering in your school, NYSC, I remember that there was NYSC, I don't know if it's National University of Accounting Students Association or something like that. Volunteer in school, you know, those are small things that you can put on your CV. Go for internships during your holidays. Don't just be on Twitter. Don't just be on Instagram. Go and do an internship, even unpaid internship, because you know what you're trying to achieve. You want to gain skills, right? So go and work for free. I know we don't like to hear that, but you know what you're trying to achieve. You know what you're trying to aim for. So go and volunteer in places that you can get those skills. You know, your uncles, your aunties, your senior colleagues, you know, they can introduce you to their office, and then they can tell them, don't worry about paying him. Don't worry about paying him. He just wants to gain skills. And you put those skills, you package it, you put it on your resume. So those are some of the ways. Don't wait until your first job before you start learning the skills that you need for your CV. There are people that they are still in university, but if you go on their LinkedIn, they participated in like 1 million fellowships before they finish school. They already have 2 pages of resume.
Yeah, thank you very much. So someone says, how do you deal with a situation where everyone in your team seems not to do so much and you are feeling like you are doing too much, like you show up better, you coordinate meetings better, and this person is the most junior member in the team, but he feels like he's doing too much than his senior colleagues. He's like bad about it. So what do you do? What does person do in that situation?
I think you need to communicate, but you need to be careful about the way you communicate. Don't communicate as if you are complaining. Communicate as if you have an idea of how things can move faster. Maybe they ask you to do a task, and then you have an idea of, oh, I think me and this person can share this task, right? Let's work together. Let me do A while you do B, and gradually you are shedding that work, right? But if you come and say, I'm doing too much work, everybody is just faffing, they may not be faffing. They may not be faffing. People think attending meetings is faffing. It's not faffing, right? So the way you communicate, and this is an opportunity for you to demonstrate your leadership skills, right? This is an opportunity for you to demonstrate teamwork and collaboration. If you have other junior members on the team, you can say, oh, senior, or I don't know, boss, or your supervisor, I think it will be good for me and so and so to do this work together. I will do A and they will do B. That way the work will be faster. You can see that positioning it this way makes it seem like I have the good of the team at heart, and makes me look like, oh, I want the best for the team. I'm a team player. I don't just want to do all the work myself. So it's about how strategic you are in your communication.
Yeah, thank you very much. So someone says, is that kind of requirement for someone looking to go into investment banking?
Not, I would say not necessarily, but having ICANN can give you leverage to get into the room. Because if everybody has CFA, or they're already writing CFA, and you don't have anything but your BSc. But if you have ICANN, they'll say, oh, this person is trying to build the skills. And it gives you leverage too, because you also see things from the lens of an accountant, as opposed to someone who just has CFA, who just sees things from the lens of an investment banker. So it's a plus if you do ICANN. I don't think it's required. I think you should focus more on like financial modeling skills. But those certifications, I don't know how weighty they are when you compare side by side with ICANN.
Yeah. Okay, so we have like 2 more questions left. So someone says, from someone that is in the healthcare field, that is willing to move to finance, what advice would you give the person, and how does the person go about it? Are there any certifications that he or she has to acquire for a smooth transition to finance from healthcare?
Well, if you did healthcare in university as undergrad, you don't need to do any certification. I think if I remember from KPMG, some of my colleagues were doctors,
engineers.
Yeah, some of them were engineers. Some of them, when they got in because they were curious. They passed the interview and whatnot, and then they now started doing ICANN when they joined the firm, or whatever certification for the field or for the team that they joined. So if you are undergrad, just apply, right? You have the same transferable skills as everyone else applying. So focus on applying, passing the interview, and things would evolve as you go along. So,
Okay.
I mean, and you can start ICANN if you want to, but I don't think for entry level, nobody is going to, they're going to give you an opportunity, even if you're coming from healthcare.
Okay, so someone says that she's a foreign level economics student and she still finds it difficult to navigate a career path. She can't really place her interest. So how can she like get her interest and also position herself for
what do you enjoy in that economics that you are studying? Which part of it do you enjoy? You know, which part of that course do you enjoy? Or which part of your program do you enjoy? I think that's the first place to start. And then finding out all the career paths that tie into what you enjoy.
Okay. Then the people that asked about speaking, he said, how does it get the Toastmasters or something? The Toastmaster.
Okay.
How does he enroll with the Toastmaster? I think that's last question. That's all.
I think they are on. So I'm a member of Eagles Toastmasters Club. But if you go to the Toastmasters website, let me just type it in the chat. If you go to the Toastmasters website, you can use Location Finder to find all the clubs in Nigeria and the clubs around you. My own Toastmasters club meets every first Saturday of the month at a hotel by 10 a.m. You can come in as a guest. You don't have to enroll. You can come in as a guest. I'll be there on the 6th of December. And you can come and say hi. So, I mean, this is inviting you if you're in Lagos. Come in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for, I think that's all we have in the question. Thank you very much, Aramide, for your time, for the effort put into this. We really appreciate it and we do not take it for granted. Thank you for raising the young generation to become people like you, to become professionals. And we say a big thank you. Can we give Aramide a round of virtual applause? Like, it's not easy. Don't worry. When you guys also grow to become top finance guys, we'll also bring you to YFL to come and speak to young generation. Thank you very much, Aramide. And with this, we've come to the end of the November monthly hangout. Thank you everyone for joining. Please, like I said, our Aramide's LinkedIn page and YouTube is on the chat box. I'll also put it on our WhatsApp group chat. And also, if you want more personalized session with Aramide, there's also a link that is on the chat box now, which I'll also copy and put on our WhatsApp group. So you can also reach out to her if you need a personalized session with her. So with this, we've come to the end of this session. Thank you very much, Aramide, and thank you everyone. Have a lovely night. Bye.
Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for the invite again, Bukola. Bye.
Thank you. Stop recording and stop streaming.